Hello. We're going to do a short and sweet targeted yoga practice for the upper body. So if you're experiencing tightness or stress, maybe you slept funny or you've been doing extra activity outside and you've got some tight muscles, this might help. If you have access to a ball, that would be fantastic if you could run and grab it if you haven't already. Either a lacrosse ball or a massage ball or both, or anything that you've got nearby, a dog toy, tennis ball. As long as it's round and about this size and shape, it will work. We're going to start by doing just a really quick warm-up for the upper body. This is one that I've been using a ton lately and I love it. So sit tall, whatever position for your legs that works, arms out to the side, and start to gently swing the arms. You can let the arms be really relaxed. Gently increase the amount of rotation, maybe increasing the speed. And then try to create a rhythm so that every time you go to one side, you're exhaling. So it's a so as you come through center, you're doing a quick inhale. And then as you go to the sides, it's a quick exhale. If you haven't already, start to take your eyes past your fingertips. You'll notice that the body will turn a little bit more. And we'll slow down until we can come back to simply sitting. You may be a little dizzy. Get the blood flowing, get the circulation going. All right, from here, we're going to take the fingertips out to the side. And you're going to start to lean over to the left. Now creating a side body to the left, side body stretch to the left. Right arm is going to come up like a 90-degree angle. Bent elbow to start. Then you're going to take your bent elbow in circles. As things start to soften or open up, you might be able to increase the amount of your side bend, perhaps taking your bottom hand farther out. I like to imagine that I'm drawing a circle with my elbow, trying to make the circle as big as I can. And start to straighten your top arm, reverse the direction, so it's a long, straight top arm, big, full circle, going in the opposite direction than you started with. And last circle, coming back up, we'll switch sides. Side bending to the right, bend in the top left elbow, imagining you're drawing a circle with the elbow point. Full range of motion if you can manage it, and that might come after a few rounds. You may have to adjust your bottom hand so you can side bend a little deeper now that the body's adjusted. And now straightening your left arm and taking the arm in a circle the opposite direction. Last circle, coming back up to the top. Go back to the first side. Left hand out, side bending to the left. Right arm reaches up to the ceiling. And we're going to be doing a tap to the forward and a tap to the back with your right hand. So you roll forward, you tap your right arm anywhere over, out in front of you. You'll feel the stretch through the sideways, the reaching. And then you reach the right arm up, you take your gaze behind you, and you drop your fingertips back. You'll feel that your chest is now turned towards the ceiling. Maybe you can tap down, maybe you can't, don't worry. And we're gonna repeat. You roll forward and tap. You roll back and tap. Try to increase the distance that you're tapping away from you or behind you. I'll do 2 more. And we'll rise up, switching sides. Side bending to the right, left arm reaches up, tapping the left fingertips out in front, close to your right hand. Lifting up, chest goes to the ceiling, left hand taps behind you. Repeating the actions. Try to increase the distance that you're able to reach either behind you or to the side and front. Let's try to get in 2 more. And meeting back up at the top. Take a moment just to roll the shoulders. And then holding here. Left fingertips again out to the side. Right hand coming up, and you're placing your right hand on your left ear. And very gently letting your right ear move towards the right shoulder. So the hand is there to increase the stretch from the left ear along the side of the neck and down into the left shoulder. You have 2 opposing actions. You're walking your left fingertips out and away from you. Right hand is gently increasing the stretch of pulling right ear to right shoulder. Release the right hand, bring your head to center and switch sides. Right fingertips out, left hand to right ear. Let your head come to the side. Walk your right fingertips out and away from you, and then hold the stretch. Adjust the sensation by how much you weight the head and how much you walk your fingers away from you. Release, come back up to center, and you're going to repeat that again on the first side, but this time more emphasis on relaxing the muscles. No tension, no holding, really, really subtle. You may find that as you relax deeper into the muscles at the side of the neck and to the stretch, it becomes more intense. Or maybe it just feels different. We'll release and switch sides. Again, emphasis this time is on relaxing into the sensations. Releasing, bringing the head to center. Just a couple gentle movements. Perhaps rolling the shoulders again. And we're going to bring the hands up behind the head. Interlace the fingers. Snuggle your hands to the back of the skull. Let your chin drop, letting your elbows come forward. Imagining or trying to visualize your chin coming to the chest. And the weight of your arms pulling your head down so you can feel the stretch from the muscles in the back of the skull all the way down the back of the neck. the back of the head into the hands, lift your chin back up to parallel to the floor. Slide your hands down so that they're cupping the back of your head, and then let the head fall back. While it falls back, you might just need to hold, and imagine you could pull your neck up and lengthen the neck. So the hands are doing the work. You're lifting your skull and then supporting the weight of your head as it rests in your hands. We'll hold here. Bringing your chin back to parallel, releasing the hands down, couple shoulder rolls. Perhaps switching your feet if you were cross-legged. This time, right arm reaches up and cups the back of your head again. Your elbow point can either face more towards the front or you can open it out to the side, depending on, again, just how mobile you are in your shoulder. And then you're going to turn your head towards your bent elbow, so towards the right. And your hand is behind your head, just sort of guiding it or holding it steady. And as you keep your head turned to the right, you're going to make micro movements. So you can drop the chin, you can lift the chin, you can tilt your head slightly back or slightly forward. Release your head, release your hand, switching sides. Left hand behind. Again, the elbow point may want to point forward or it may point to the side. Head turns to the left. And then it might be better for you to stay still, just holding, or you might be able to add the micro movement. So chin goes up and down, perhaps gentle rock side to side. Another alternative is to just come out of the rotation a little bit and then come back. Almost like you're trying to touch your nose to the armpit. And release. Come back to the first side. Second approach is going to be softer. Again, you're going to turn your head to the right, and you're going to try to soften all the muscles of your neck, the side neck, the back of your head, even the muscles that are supporting your arm up in this shape. Try to relax them as much as you can, but maintain the shape, and then hold here. We'll release and switch sides. And we'll release. Roll the shoulders. Alright, you're going to take your right hand behind your back. And you're going to reach your right hand up towards your left shoulder blade, if possible. And you're going to hold. You can use your other hand to wrap around your back to support. You can also support by reaching the opposite arm up, binding fingertips. around a little bit and we'll switch sides. Left arm goes behind your back. The back of your hand is on your spine or on the back of your right shoulder blade. Wiggle and move around until you get your fingertips up as high as you can. Opposite hand can either go around to your back and maybe you can grab a hold of your elbow and assist getting your fingertips farther up. Or if it makes it more accessible, perhaps the top arm, your right arm, reaches up and back. This is our usual approach for this stretch. So you either come to where you know with this one, maybe there's a strap from between your hands if you can't quite get close enough, or that bottom arm is wrapped around and is assisting to get the right angle of getting your fingertips closer up towards the opposite shoulder blade. And we'll hold here. And we can release. Roll the shoulders. Always both directions. And then you're going to find your ball. And you're going to have it in the palm of whichever hand you want to use. And you're going to massage the pec muscles. So from your shoulder across towards the middle of your chest. And the softest, fleshiest parts is where you're going to try to target. I like to have little circles, almost like the way you would brush your teeth, little micro circles. If you find a spot that's feels like it needs a bit more time, you can either increase the pressure, you can increase the amount of time you spend there, and you're going to work your way across the pecs and through the front of the shoulder joint as well. You can do this one against the wall. So if you were standing, you'd face the wall and place the ball between you, lean into it, and then you would move the body up and down, side to side, creating a self-massage. You can also experiment with putting your arm into different orientations. With the arm lifted, you can get into the muscle that's connecting the pec muscle up towards the bicep. And of course, we're going to do both sides. You're going to work your way across both sides of the chest. And sometimes I find that the tendency is for people to go quite fast and quick across the muscles. But quite often when you slow down, super slow, you'll find more areas that you want to work on that feel really good, like they're releasing fascia, they're releasing maybe scar tissue or just moving tissues around that have been bound together from just being tight or unhydrated or not hydrated well enough. So the ball rolling is increasing circulation, it's increasing your awareness of the body. And the hamster and the rolling is getting a bit of a workout. Try to stay as relaxed as you can. Right, and we'll finish, make sure that you've done both sides pretty even. And then you can roll the shoulders a few more times. And you're going to let your ball go down for now. We're going to take our own hands, we're going to do a self-massage. Hands go onto the traps. And you're going to find all those tight little knots. And you're going to see if you can work them out. So we are using the strength of our own fingers and our own hands to massage out. If you've had a good massage before from a therapist, you'll know what the sensations are that you're looking for. You might be gliding down the muscles. You may be just holding with pressure, pushing the fingertips down. You may have to do one side. You have a wonderful feedback loop when you do your own massage. Not only do you get the feedback from your hand that's doing the massage, but you're also able to feel what that hand is creating as a sensation. So you're in complete control of how much pressure, when you move, how you move, the type of pressure you're applying. I think it's really healthy. As you work, you may also explore the idea of just pressing and holding and then moving the head. And of course, we'll do both sides evenly, just like we did with the ball and the pecs. One of the things to avoid when we're doing self-massage or with the ball rolling is to avoid that tensing up or tightening of the muscle that we're working on. So we want to try to keep the muscle that we're manipulating as soft and relaxed as we can. Other muscles may have to be tensing to hold the shape or to create the massage, but the muscle you're working on, try to keep it relaxed. And when working on the upper body and you're working on a muscle, you can either move the extremities, so the arms, or the head while you're holding or pressing on the muscle, and you'll get a nice reaction. We're going to move on now to using the ball, but against a wall or a door if you have one nearby. And you're going to place your back to the wall, and the ball will be, again, on the same muscles that we're just working on with our hands, but now you've got a little bit more pressure. You can use your hands to push back, and you're going to ball roll or myofascial release the trapped muscles. So there's 5 different techniques that you can use for using the ball. They all have different applications, and I encourage you to try all 5 and find what works for you for certain muscles. There's the press and release. The ball doesn't move, you're just pressing into the ball, and then you're releasing. Hopefully the ball doesn't fall out. This is a really nice way to increase the circulation and the fluid into the tissues. Once you've done that 5 or 6 times, you move the ball slightly, and then you repeat. Press and release, press and release. If you have a little bit of anatomy knowledge, or none, doesn't really matter, but if you think about the direction of the muscle that you're working on. So for this one, you can think of it as starting at the shoulder and going to the nape of the neck. This direction. You would then roll the ball in the same direction as the muscle fibers. Let's call this gliding. I'm having a hard time getting my ball to stay. Where you would roll the ball along the fibers. Alternatively, you could do cross-hatching across the muscle fibers. So if the muscle goes from here to here in a straight line, let's say, now you would be going up and down across the muscle fibers. So if you were standing, you would be bending and straightening your knees, going up and down along the length of the muscle. A little bit more challenging for this one because it's hard to keep the ball there sometimes. So that's 3 different techniques. Press and hold, gliding in the same direction as the muscle fiber, cross-hatching, going across the muscle fiber, and then there is softening. This one is always underutilized, and it's too bad because it's really effective. Adding just a very small amount of pressure against the ball, and then very consciously relaxing the muscle that you're working on as much as possible. The muscle gets so soft, the ball kind of disappears into the muscle. No tightening, no tension. It takes some time, but it's really effective. And it's great for mindfulness because you're learning how to control the muscle and to soften it. Really effective for the ball rolling. And then then you can either use the softening technique or the press and release, and then add movement. So you're holding the ball, you've got some pressure, you're keeping it in place, and then you're maybe moving the head, or picking a position and then holding and continuing to either press and release, or maybe moving an arm or a leg, so depending on where you're working. Make sure you do both sides. And the only other caution with using the ball is to move it around evenly and try not to create inflammation. Sometimes it feels so good and we think more is better or more sensation is better. Not necessarily the case. You can actually create inflammation in the muscle group, which would be counterproductive to what you're trying to do. We're trying to flush out, relieve tension and adhesions in the fascia and the connective tissue, increasing circulation, which that is inflammation. But we want to increase it to a healthy level, not to where it swells and gets red and hot and swollen. So just be mindful that sometimes when we're first learning, we take it too far. So I'm going to leave you with this, continuing to play with using the ball to roll out and massage upper body. And if you are going to do anything else before you carry on with the rest of your day, I'd invite you to go back to sitting and doing the arm swinging. Maybe closing the eyes and trying to make it as relaxed as possible before you go about the rest of your day or evening. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you again soon.